Hello friends, today's topic is about calcium regulation. So how exactly calcium is regulated in our body, that is explained in this video. So for that calcium regulation, particularly three hormone is needed. First one, that is vitamin D. This vitamin D basically called a calcitriol, that is increasing calcium and phosphorus level in the blood. So ultimate purpose of vitamin D, that is increase calcium and phosphorus level in the blood. Second, that is PTH, that is parathyroid hormone, that is leading to the increased calcium level but decrease phosphorus level. So that you have to keep in mind, parathyroid hormone P, but it is decreasing the phosphorus in the blood. Third one, that is calcitonin. So that calcitonin, that is also one type of hormone that lead to the decrease of both calcium and phosphorus. So first three hormone, they are the most important for the calcium regulation. So vitamin D and PTH, that will increase the calcium level, but calcitonin, that will decrease both calcium and phosphorus level. Now phosphorus concentration is directly or intimately correlated with the calcium. So along with the calcium, you have to keep in mind that phosphorus level. So calcitonin, that is helping to decrease calcium, vitamin D and PTH, that is helping to increase calcium level. Now apart from these three hormone, phosphate, protein, particularly albumin, next that is pH, means hydrogen ion concentration, as well as kidney, they are also playing role in calcium regulation. So in detail we will look one by one. So first about vitamin D. So vitamin D active form, that is called a calcitriol, because there is a 3 hydroxyl group, that simply you are knowing. So when this vitamin D is present, particularly it will act over the intestine. So when it is acting over the intestinal mucosal cell, what happen, cal binding protein will be increase in number. So in the presence of cal binding protein in the mucosal cell, that will increase the absorption of calcium and overall blood calcium level will be increased. So that one function of vitamin D, that is helping to increase blood calcium level. Second effect of vitamin D, that is over the bone. What will happen in the presence of vitamin D, that will increase number and activity of both osteoblast cell. So osteoblast cell is present over the bone, but activity of this osteoblast cell and overall number of osteoblasts, that will increase in the presence of vitamin D, and that lead to the secretion of the alkaline phosphatase, that is one type of the enzyme. So already we have seen that alkaline phosphatase, it has various isoenzyme. So one particular pre-beta type of isoenzyme, that is alkaline phosphatase, that particular isoenzyme produced by the bone, particularly osteoblast cell. So it is produced by the osteoblast cell, and that is also helping to increase local concentration of calcium and phosphate, and that lead to the bone mineralization. So ultimate effect of vitamin D over the bone, that is increased bone mineralization. First effect, that is increased blood calcium level, and over the bone it is helping to the mineralization. So we have seen about intestine, what happen in the presence of vitamin D, that will lead to the increased calcium level by absorption of that increased absorption of calcium. Second effect, that is over the bone, that will lead to the bone mineralization. Third effect of this calcitriol, that will also increase the reabsorption of calcium and phosphorus from the renal tubule. So that third effect over the kidney. So ultimately it will increase absorption of calcium from intestine and reabsorption from the kidney and bone mineralization, that three main function of the vitamin D. So both mineral, particularly which two mineral, calcium and phosphorus, both will be conserved under the presence of vitamin D. So simply you have to remember bone mineralization under the presence of vitamin D, intestine increase absorption of this calcium with the help of cal binding protein, and kidney there is increased reabsorption of the calcium, that is seen. So that one factor, vitamin D, ultimately leading to the increased calcium level in the blood. Second hormone, that is parathyroid hormone. So that is secreted by the chief cell of the parathyroid gland. So parathyroid gland, that is just behind the thyroid gland. So initially this parathyroid hormone, that is pre-pro-parathyroid hormone, which have 115 amino acid. Now in the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus, from that pre-pro PTH, that mature PTH will be generated with the 84 amino acid. This particular hormone release under the effect of with the help of the cyclic AMP, but that is under negative feedback of the ionized calcium level. So this ionized calcium, that will regulate the secretion of the parathyroid hormone. How exactly this calcium is regulating parathyroid hormone, that also we will look in one particular slide, but at present you have to remember parathyroid hormone, that is secreted under the regulation of the ionized calcium. So there is a three particular organ that you have to keep in mind again in this PTH, that is bone, intestine and kidney, that already we have seen in the vitamin D. But now what happened to this bone, intestine and kidney under the presence of this PTH, parathyroid hormone, that we will look. So first, PTH, parathyroid hormone, cause demineralization or decalcification. What happened previously in vitamin D that lead to the mineralization of the bond, but PTH that is leading to the demineralization or decalcification of bond, and that will under the presence of increased number of the osteoclast. Vitamin D is acting over the osteoblast cell. Here it is osteoclast cell. So number of osteoclast cell will be increased. Further, that will induce the pyrophosphatase in the osteoclast cell. So osteoclast that is related to the demineralization, and that is inducing the pyrophosphatase. That particular enzyme is induced in the presence of this parathyroid hormone in the osteoclast cell. So also causes secretion of the collagenase from the osteoclast. This collagenase that is also lead to the breakdown or dissolving of that particular collagen fiber. So that all thing will happen under the presence of the parathyroid hormone. This lead to the loss of matrix and bone resorption will occur. So simply vitamin D helping in mineralization, parathyroid hormone that will lead to the demineralization. So osteoclast release lactate, that is lactic acid, into the surrounding medium, which also solubilize the calcium, which is dissolved or reabsorbed from the particular bone. So that is effect of the parathyroid hormone over the bone. What happen over the kidney? So decrease excretion as well as increase reabsorption of calcium from the renal tubule. So what happen? Parathyroid hormone, it is releasing calcium from the bone. Second thing, it is also increase reabsorption and decrease excretion of the calcium from the renal tubule, as well as increase excretion of the phosphate. Vitamin D that is mainly acting over the calcium and also increasing the level of the phosphate, but PTH that is intensely work over the calcium only, but that will also lead to the increased excretion of the phosphate from the kidney. So it stimulate 1 hydroxylation of 25 hydroxycalciferol in kidney to produce calcitriol. So another function of PTH, that is correlation of PTH and vitamin D, that PTH also lead to the activation of vitamin D through the kidney. So in kidney that particular enzyme 1 alpha hydroxylase that is stimulated in the presence of parathyroid hormone, that will lead to the active vitamin D formation, and that is also helping to increase absorption of calcium from the intestine. So over the intestine there is not a direct effect but indirect effect of the parathyroid hormone. So simple PTH that lead to the resorption of bone from the with the help of activity over the osteoclast cell. In the kidney, it will increase reabsorption of calcium, decrease excretion of calcium, but increase excretion of the phosphate, that you have to keep in mind. Third thing, that is in the intestine, that is indirect effect with the help of vitamin D. Now calcium sensing receptor that is also controlling the parathyroid hormone secretion as well as renal calcium reabsorption. Now third particular hormone, that is calcium regulation, and for that calcium regulation, that is calcitonin, which is secreted by the thyroid parafollicular cell. So particularly it is called a clear cell. So clear cell, C for calcitonin, C for clear cell, that is clear cell helping to secrete calcitonin. Now calcitonin secretion is stimulated by the serum calcium, gastrin, glucagon and biological amine. So all these will together will control the calcitonin secretion. So calcitonin decrease serum calcium level, it inhibit resorption of the bond. So calcitonin decrease serum calcium level. So previously we have seen that two, vitamin D and PTH, that is overall increase calcium level, but calcitonin it will decrease calcium level. How? Calcitonin basically it is toning the bond by increased deposition of calcium over the bond by inhibiting resorption of the bond. So it decrease activity of osteoclast, means bond resorption activity by this osteoclast will be decreased and increase overall activity of the osteoblast cell. So calcitonin and PTH are directly antagonists, means they have opposite effect. PTH causing the demineralization, calcitonin that is decreasing the activity of that osteoclast cell, while PTH increase activity of the osteoclast cell. So they are directly antagonized, but both will cause phosphorus excretion. So ultimately what happen, both will lead to the increased excretion of the phosphorus. So that is common thing in between calcitonin and PTH that you have to keep in mind. So calcitonin and PTH together promote the bone growth and mineralization or remodeling of the bone is possible with the help of calcitonin and parathyroid hormone. Now how exactly these are connected with each other, that we will look in this slide. So parathyroid gland, from that particularly PTH parathyroid hormone is secreted. It has effect over the three particular organ, bone, kidney and intestine. So bone, kidney and intestine, from ultimately, particularly bone, there is a demineralization will occur in the presence of parathyroid hormone. From the kidney also increase reabsorption of calcium, decrease excretion of the calcium will be there. But in the intestine there is an indirect effect due to or with the help of vitamin D is seen. So overall calcium level that will be increased in the presence of parathyroid hormone. So overall calcium is increased in the plasma, that will lead to the feedback inhibition. So that feedback inhibition that will lead to the decreased formation of PTH from the parathyroid gland. But oppositely, what happen when decrease then when sufficient calcium level is there, simultaneously it is indicating increased formation of C cell. So from the clear cell of the thyroid gland there is a calcitonin is produced. This calcitonin will also affect over the bone and kidney. So bone and kidney, ultimately that will lead to the deposition of calcium over the bone. It will prevent reabsorption or resorption of that particular bone. It as well it has effect over the kidney. So overall effect of calcitonin, that is decreased calcium level. So that kidney, from that also excretion of this particular calcium will be increased under the presence of calcitonin. So overall calcium level will be decreased in the plasma. So when decreased calcium level, that will also inhibit the clear cell of the thyroid gland, that will lead to the decreased formation of calcitonin. But simultaneously when decreased calcium level, that will stimulate parathyroid gland to produce parathyroid hormone. Same way sufficient or increased calcium level in the plasma, that will lead to the secretion of the calcitonin. So they are vice versa regulating each other. Now further, some minor factor which are also regulating this calcium that we will look. So calcium and phosphorus have reciprocal relationship. The ionic product of calcium and phosphorus in serum is kept constant. So normal calcium level, that is around 10 milligram per deciliter, and phosphorus, that is 4 milligram per deciliter. So generally ionic product is remain 10 into 4 is equal to 40. So if calcium level is increased, phosphorus level will decrease. Same way phosphorus level will increase, calcium level will be simultaneously decreased. So ultimately the product will be remain 40. But in children the ionic product is generally 50 and calcium at the upper level is same. Further, in renal insufficiency, when kidney is not working properly, phosphorus excretion will be decreased. Phosphorus excretion will decrease, so phosphorus level will be increased. So that will lead to the decreased calcium level, and that is also leading to the tetany. So sometimes tetany may be seen if there is a renal insufficiency. Calcitonin and PTH, parathyroid hormone, are directly antagonists, but both cause phosphorus excretion, that you have to keep in mind. Ultimately, both are leading to the decreased phosphorus level in the blood. Further, albumin. In hypoalbuminemia, means decreased albumin level less than 3.5 gram per deciliter, the metabolically active ionized form is normal. So active ionized calcium will be normal, but there will be no deficiency manifestation happen. But there is a direct correlation when you are estimating total calcium level in the blood. So in hypoalbuminemia also that calcium level will be decreased. So that is total calcium level will be found to be decreased. So it is generally said when 1 gram per deciliter of albumin is decreased, that will lead to the decrease 0.8 milligram per deciliter of the calcium. One more factor, that is pH, that is acidosis or alkalosis. So when alkalosis favors binding of more calcium with the protein, simple what happen, alkalosis, there is a less hydrogen ion concentration and overall protein will have a negative charge. So over that negatively charged protein, that positively charged calcium will attach. So ultimately lead to the lowering of ionized calcium. Overall ionized calcium level will be found to be decreased. So here total calcium is normal, but calcium deficiency may be manifested in the form of lower ionized calcium. Oppositely, acidosis, protein have a positive charge, so they will not attach with the calcium, and that will lead to the increased ionization of the calcium. So that is the effect of pH over the calcium level. Further, calcium regulation with the kidney is also found. So kidney threshold, so you have to remember normal level of calcium, that is 9 to 11 milligram per deciliter. So kidney threshold, same as the glucose, that calcium has also threshold level. So when kidney threshold level for calcium in blood is, that is 10 milligram per deciliter, normal level that is 9 to 11, but above 10 milligram per deciliter calcium level will be start to appear in the urine. So calcium start getting excreted in the urine when this level is reached, means above 10 milligram it will start to appear in the urine. So that's all about how exactly calcium is regulated in our body with the help of three hormone: calcitonin, parathyroid hormone and vitamin D, or it is called as a calcitriol. So that's all about calcium regulation.